G'day guys, well today we're in the garage doing some light upgrades to the Jeep. Now we're going to be changing out the headlamps for some STEDI carbons. Now they're a full LED headlight, low beam, high beam, and also introducing a daytime running light. We're also going to be changing out these IPF spotlights to some STEDI Type X Pros. Now the STEDI Type X Pros are their premium spotlights, so really looking forward to seeing how they perform. And also we're going to be changing out the tail lights. Now these tail lights I picked up offline from HIMOD. Now they're a full LED tail light, so a big improvement over the standard tail light. So look, let's not waste any more time and get stuck in. All right, so first part of the install is we've got to remove the grill so we can get to the headlamps, and also expose the wiring for the spotlight. So we'll go through, pop the bonnet, and start disconnecting the grill. All right, so once you've popped the bonnet, what we need to do is to remove the grill. Just take out these 6 tabs along here. Just grab yourself a little screwdriver, just sort of pry them up underneath and just pull them out. Just grab them and they just pop out like so. So once all the clips are removed, simply just grab the grill, give it a bit of a pull out from the like so. And then what you need to do is just disconnect these 2 indicators at the front here. So just down the bottom, there's a couple of tabs. All you need to do is just straighten the grill up and then pull it from the base here, and that'll then just pop that out, and then you can then lift the grill out. All right, so to remove the headlight, there's 4 screws around here. Now they're a Torx T15 bit, so just undo that, and then what it is like this stainless steel bezel that actually holds the headlamp in. Once that's in, then we can then pull the headlight out and then disconnect it. All right, so if you take a look in here, it's just basically a H4 connection, and then the actual wiring is pretty short. So just grab that connection, give it a bit of a jiggle. It will take a little bit of effort to sort of just disconnect, and then you've got that to come out. And then on the bottom here, this is where your Parker is. Just pull that out. All right, so I've now removed the second headlight. What I'm going to do is give these bezels a bit of a clean up, because you actually need these to reinstall the new STEDI lights. But I think the stainless steel might look a little bit funny. So what I'll do is I'll give these a clean up, give them a coat of black paint, and then they'll blend in much better. All right, so now with the spotlights removed, what we're going to do is because we've already got existing wiring, we actually don't need to change that at all. So even though the STEDI spotlights, the Type X Pros, come with a full brand new loom, there's sort of no point sort of replacing what we've already got, because we've already got it, right? So, but one thing they do come with is that if you want to plug into some existing loom, is they come with these tails with these sort of Deutsch plugs on the back. So all we're going to do is we're just going to cut these off back here, solder these up, and then we're good to go. All right, so slight change in plan. My soldering iron has decided to not work. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be crimping. So crimping is just as good, and we'll use a bit of heat shrink over these connectors as well, just to make sure that they're nice and watertight. All right, so what I've had to do is I've gone to mount the spotlights. I've just had to take this bracket off here because I'm running this unique bar, and the original bracket was facing this direction, and when I put the mount on there, it actually fouls on this hoop here. So what I'm going to do is I've just taken this off now, flip this around, and then I should be able to mount that, and there should be no clearance issues. So one thing I opted for when I bought the STEDI spotlights was the anti-theft bolts. So basically, they run like this 4-prong sort of bolt, and then this is obviously the key to sort of attach it. and then that goes in like that, and then you sort of screw it, and then that disconnects. So it just makes it a little bit harder. I wouldn't say impossible, but it just makes it a little bit harder if someone was going to knock your lights off. So just one thing to be aware of when you're actually using these bolts that are supplied. So all the hardware that they supply is all stainless steel. Just make sure you use a little bit of anti-seize. I'm just going to use a little bit of Loctite, which is anti-seize, as well as making sure it doesn't rattle loose. Alrighty, so now we're onto the back to the headlights. Now the bezels have come up really nice. They're nice and black, so they'll slide on over the top. Now what we need to do to get the DRL functioning with this is the red wire. So I'm led to believe anyway, right? This red wire connects to this white wire, so we're going to join that. So STEDI do supply this in the kit. And then what we need to do is then link it across to the other headlight and then over to somewhere in the fuse box where we can pick up a constant power when ignition's on. So that's what we're going to be doing now, trying to find which fuse. And what we're going to be doing is using a fuse tap as well. So if you haven't seen fuse taps, you can get them from J-Car. They're about $5. And what it does is it basically allows you to unplug a fuse, put two fuses in, so one for what you already want to run, and then what's already existing. So it's just a nice, neat way to finish it off. All right, so what I've done, I've run the DRL wire, which is the white wire, and I've stuck it in some conduit as well. And basically what I've done is I've followed in front of the grill here, down behind the headlights. It comes up over to here and then pops out here. And then I've joined the wire to the other wire, so it picks up both headlights. And then I've run the conduit up to the fuse box at the top here. Now what I've done here, I've just notched out here just so the wire can sort of poke through. And I've found that this, there's a blank fuse spot here, which had power on it with the ignition. So I've just used the fuse tap there, and I'm just running just a 5 amp hour fuse, which is enough because I think it only pulls like about maximum 2 amps or something on the DRL. All right, so when it comes to install, they recommend using the CAN bus module. Now that's just to stop any flickering that may occur. So basically what happens now is that we plug in the H4 pin into the main factory harness here, like so. And then this then plugs into the headlight H4 part, like so. And then turn this around, untangle this red wire, like so. And all I did is made a connection on this, and I'll put a bit of black tape on it, and then at this spacey that clock clicks on. I'll tape that up, and then it's time for install. So just a little tip, when you go to line the headlight up, there's actually little notches here in the frame, and then which correspond to the sort of lumps on the side of the headlight, and then basically then just sort of line that sort of up like so, and then we get our bezel. We sort of stick that around to the top and spin that around, get this the right way, like so. Put our screws in. Whoop. and then job done. All right, so what we'll do is we'll just give a quick check and see how the everything's all wired up before we go putting the grill back on. So we'll just get in here, turn the ignition to on. So yes, we can see the DRL's turned on. We'll check the headlights. So that's low beam. Yep, both coming on. And then we'll hit high beam. And yes, definitely working. So all good, we can now reassemble. All right, so this is looking pretty darn good. I'm really stoked with the way the headlights have turned out, and also the spotlights. There was a little bit of stuffing around with the spotlights, having to flip those brackets around, and also running that sort of DRL wire took a little bit of time, but you know, all good in the end. Anyway, I'm going to get the car out, back it in, and then we're going to start on the taillights. So the taillights are really simple to do. It's basically just 2 screws using a Phillips head screwdriver or a battery drill. Unscrew it, slide the taillight across and unclip it, and then plug the new ones in and then put the screws in. So there's just a little plug here that you just need to disconnect from this part here where it just sort of holds that sort of plug together. And then this one here simply just pushes at the back here, like so. And then just comes out. All right, so when it comes to installing the tail lights, basically they are marked left and right. So there is even though they look exactly the same, there's a little R in there. I don't know if you can sort of see that just there, but you can indicate by the wiring to the base of the actual light itself. So all we do is simply just come in, plug it in, like so, nice click. You just push that into the cavity, like so. We sort of line that up, slide that across, and then grab our screws, making sure they line up, which they do. Stick them in. And just don't over tighten, hey. You just don't want to crack the plastic. Not that I'm saying that it will, but you know, just to make sure. Done. Right, so let's check out how they look. So there's the tail light on, there's the brake light, turn the tail light off, there's the indicator, so it's nice and bright, even comes on the side of the light, which I like that. And then we'll check out reverse. So there's reverse, nice and bright. So I'm really impressed with the quality of the lights. I'm super happy with the way they've turned out. Now what we need to do is just check out now how they actually perform at night. All right, so first drive with the headlights, really impressed with the actual quality. So far the light output is absolutely chalk and cheese between the standard JK headlights. Now I haven't tested out the spotties yet. I'm just waiting just up the road here because there's a nice straight section, and I'm going to turn them on and see how they go. All right, so we're coming up to a nice straight section of road. I'm going to turn the spotlights on and see how they go. Holy smokes, man, they are awesome. A little bit of adjustment, I think. I need to sort of spread them out a little bit to the sides because they're sort of very centrally focused. But man, I'm looking straight ahead, and that's like a good, I don't know, 800, 900 meters ahead that I can sort of see down the road. Wow, that's amazing. Look, I think they've definitely met my expectations, and yeah, I'm really, really impressed. All right, guys. So what do you think? What do you think of the light upgrade? Look, overall, I'm really impressed. Look, let's start with the headlights. The low beam on the headlights is really good. It gives a nice sort of spread across the road and a nice depth of field. And then the high beam, look, I'm not so much impressed with the high beam. The high beam I thought would have had a longer throw, but it sort of didn't really sort of blow me away. So anyway, look, STEDI, if you're listening, there's 1 point of improvement there for the headlights. Now the spotlights have absolutely blown me away. They had really good depth of light that went down the road. Look, 800-900 meters, maybe even more. Realistically, you shouldn't be sort of focusing on that far down the road. You should be sort of focusing what's up in front, and that's what they did really well. It really lit up that sort of first 200-300 meters right in front of you, really clear. The only thing I find with LED spotlights is that when you come across a bunch of signs, they reflect back in your face, and look, that's nothing that sort of wrong with sort of STEDI's design. It's just LEDs sort of in general. And look, the taillights, I'm really impressed with the taillights. They actually remind me of the factory JL taillights, and they're a full LED. They're nice and bright, definitely a big improvement over the factory ones. Now look, I'll drop a link in the description below. Look, I'm not affiliated with any of these manufacturers like STEDI and HIMOD, but I do definitely recommend them. I think they're a massive improvement on the factory lights. Now, and you guys, if you've got any questions or comments, drop them down below. And hey, look, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing, because we have some awesome content that's coming up, and we're going to be some awesome wheeling with the Rubicon, and go and hitting those sort of tough tracks, and plus we've got a heap more mods that are coming up as well. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed and you've got something out of it. Give us a thumbs up, and until next time, I'll see you soon. Cheers.